Jyoti, how you doing? And you're done? Sorry, I kind of forced that upon you guys. So we're going to listen to group number 1 first. Do you have a doctor here who can help explain a bit of the solutions that have been going on?
This one, right? Okay. We have bonus solutions. So we are not just restricted to 2. We have 3 solutions.
Excellent.
The first one is, thank you. So establish early warning coordination mechanisms, or if it is there already, strengthen the mechanisms with the designated lead agency, because some of our group members discussed there is no enough discussion happening coherently like the way it is happening in the fast moving countries. So there are pieces of activities happening. Such mechanisms will strengthen dialogue and discussion between all the partners and interlinks with the sectors, pillars. So in terms of policy, frameworks, tools, so that will really advance the early warning for all agenda in all the countries, not restricting to the fast moving countries. And the second solution is technical and financial support for strengthening national early warning capacity on all pillars, so that we have a robust early warning system in place to achieve the outcome. And also how we can do it, it's not just within the national capacity strengthening. It can be done through various ways, through regional collaborations, through the knowledge sharing, trainings, using different modes, and especially through the ASEAN Secretariat to advance the early warning for all agenda. And one more solution or the need which everybody highlighted was like the WMO to support preparing a guidelines to implement early warning framework, because it's more of a generic, like how it can be downscaled at the national level, and explains the interlinkages between global, regional, and local. Yeah, that's all we have. Thank you.
That's really great, Table 1. Thank you so much. I think it's super interesting seeing these elements come through regarding the coordination. I've heard some speckles in the other conversations as well, was how do we ensure that the focus is just not on the Met services, it's also on the sectorial bodies, the end users, that we come together as a family to address these issues as well. And really great to hear about the technical and financial support that will be needed to do that, and the partners in play. So thank you, Team 1, excellent overview. We'll definitely use these takeaways. But now, Johan, I think we're gliding to number 2, and do we have a doctor here?
Okay, yeah, so this is the group that is the more regional bodies here. So the first question was actually a question our group also had, was about the other countries. And I guess the key message to this is, so the non-pilot countries, how are they just as early warnings for all? And the key message is, don't wait, start now. This idea with the pilot countries was meant to be a kickstart, and that we should all just, expand now beyond these countries. And actually, we already heard yesterday, we had an excellent presentation from Timor-Leste about how they've already been implementing and working on this early warnings for all. So there's going to be no formal expansion of this, so it's not going to be, okay, we have these 10 countries, now it's going to be 20, but so yes, please, everyone all here, we should all be working together to expand this beyond now. And I think we also sort of answered these questions all together, because the next one is on accelerating regional collaboration. So we have already discussed in our group that things like the AHA Center have already been doing sort of these assessments of how these early warning systems are, from the early warnings right to how the uses, they've been doing this in the countries, but it's also good to be discussing what people have been doing in the national frameworks in this, so we can make sure we're all on the same page where we are. So we have this baseline assessment for all countries, so we can see where to focus in our energies as well. And critical to this for regional agencies as well is not only to be sharing our technical guidance, but also political pitch as well, because we do need the support at the level, and in the ASEAN region, at the ASEAN Secretariat level as well. So there is this suggestion, because ACDM and SCMG are not the same group, but to actually establish a technical committee so to try to address this early warnings for all together, which was, I think, is a really nice way there. There was also some questions on the financial side of things, and it's really important that we do coordinate for this. Unfortunately, there's not enough money to go country by country solving these solutions, so we do really need to optimize the solutions, share resources. We had a sharing from Rhymes about how they listen to the different country needs, and then they try to develop tools that help most or as many of the needs as possible. We also had some academics in our group as well, and there was discussions about how a lot of interesting work's going on in academia as well. So countries that have a lot of advanced in their universities can actually support universities in other countries, and then they can feed down to their government as well. And there was a nice suggestion for a regional modeling framework, sort of for weather forecasting or that, so we can all learn together, so there's no need to constantly reinvent the wheel. So I think I covered everything in our group. Anything else to add around the table? Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Thea.
Thank you, Thea. This was great, and I think it brought up things that I heard from the other tables. It's really this: how do we go beyond the 30 countries? And maybe we, as pillar leads, we shot ourselves in the foot at the beginning by saying we have 30 focus countries. But as you say, we needed to start somewhere and pilot this idea and then scale it up. And this is exactly what is happening at the moment. And the advisory panel of the initiative, the global one, has really recommended that as well. And I think as we communicate now about this initiative, we actually don't mention these 30 countries that much anymore, because as we saw from Timor-Leste, from the Philippines, from many other countries, they're already doing it without the label yet, but I think we can comfortably put the label on these projects and countries as well. And then also what you mentioned about the baseline assessment that came up in several groups, to know, okay, when do we have that minimum capacity? When are we there? Is it 2027, or do we have to go beyond? I think it's a campaign, it's an ambitious goal that the UN Secretary General announced, but we know we can only do our best by 2027. And thank you also for mentioning the academic perspective, so this university cooperation and thinking of the next generation. I think this is extremely important, and thank you for bringing this up. Maybe we move to the next group.
And I just want to say, Thea, I love that kind of political slogan, don't wait, act now. Like, let's start saying that to all the countries, don't wait, act now, and early warning for all. So I'm going to carry that with me. And I'm carrying that over to desk number 3. Do we have our doctor here? Oh, lovely, thank you. Over to you.
All right. Hello, I'm Nurul. So from group 3, so we're trying to answer the question, well, our patient is saying how the early warning for all better, right? How the early warning for all better coordinate stakeholder existing system, all right? So our solution for that is to actually look at it in terms of top-down approach. So at the national level, maybe it can be led by the Prime Minister office. Yeah, so national prioritization. So maybe not just at the national level, but international level, maybe as Ms. Colina mentioned, the UN should be the one. What were you saying just now? Okay, yeah, national government, not just the Met Service being pressured to lead the initiative for early warning for all. And also taking the example from Malaysia, because they have a lot of warnings issued. So you have warnings from Met Service and also warning from the irrigation department. And then you also have a warning from the National Disaster Management, which is under the PMO, Prime Minister's Office. So the National Disaster Warning is more strong in a way, like people listen to them more than the Met Service, because it's coming from the position of higher authority. Yeah. All right, and for the second question, so will early warning for all provide a unified platform integrating all data sets? So honestly, we kind of like struggle with this question because we don't actually know what data sets you guys meant. So maybe you can, so honestly, so we have to admit we're not a good doctor on this. So we're gonna have to refer you to the specialist, which is WMO, since the early warning is coming from WMO initiative. So probably someone can help us answer that. Yeah. So yeah, that's all from group 3.
Thanks so much, Group 3. A round of applause for them. And I love it. What we've heard here as well is, yes, some of us can be GPs, but we're not all heart surgeons, and that's important for us to recognize as well. So I think there's a really important lesson learned is when we do need help, we do need to knock on a specialist door and bring them in to help us with that. So thanks for bringing that particular perspective into that solutions pile, which I think is important for us to realize that there's going to be certain technical people who need to be in certain places to enable that to happen. And it's okay to say you don't know. So thank you so much, but excellent also about the PMU and the linkage there with the disaster management and making sure higher authority also has a say over these warnings and supporting it coming out as well to enable action and that coordination to come through. I think that's a very excellent point. But as Joachim, I think we've got to migrate to our last table. Do you want to find our doctor?
Yes, it's the last group. So soon you can have your coffee. And just from this group, what I take is also that every country is different, and every country will require a different solution, given its political context and geographic context, of course. And so, handing over to Group 4 to your solutions. Thanks.
It's done. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the representative from Group 4, I have the question like what happened to the non-pilot countries? The question, the answer from our group is when any country is ready, they may approach through the UN resident coordination, and very hard to read because he write down. I try to. Will you please come and guide me about your letter? Again, please. The UN resident coordination coordinated entity platform to be on board, early warning for all, or through other funding sources. That's the first. And second, how to extend the support to them is support will come when the sources country is ready for them really leverage existing effort and not limited to fund in inclusivity. Mentoring experience from pilot with the regional approach. This second answer. What does the minimum success look like? Understand the status of the early warning at the national level. Learn from success story. People know what to do. And diagnostic for the 4 pillar, peer review. Data on impact, available. And the third, the need, a baseline of the comprehensive assessment and identification of low handling fruit is the satellite. Low-hanging fruit satellite application downscale NWP training. Multi-hazard early warning system for pillar or address and coordinate. Quick assessment with the WMO tools. And coordination between a regional organization, including dollar and existing political institution, including for transparency hazards. Thank you very much for your help. And this is many agencies like SCAP, UNDRR, WMO, and so on. I think this is all. I'm sorry because I cannot read.
No, you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much, sir.